Hello everyone, I'm all about Sonic the Telltale Gamer, videos and everything Telltale games, Transformers, and more. So today I have a big announcement about Telltale games. So yesterday, Telltale tweeted out this message saying, news coming this week during San Diego Comic-Con. It just said it has one picture, the Telltale Games logo, and it says Summer 2017 Update. Now, so the big question here is, what exactly is Telltale going to announce at San Diego Comic-Con this year? Now, if we look back at what Telltale has announced at previous San Diego Comic-Cons, at San Diego Comic-Con 2011, I think, they announced The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead Season 1. At San Diego Comic-Con 2014, they announced The Walking Dead New Frontier, but at the time it was just called The Walking Dead Season 3. And then, last year at San Diego Comic-Con, they showed off screenshots for The Walking Dead New Frontier. So what are they going to reveal at this San Diego Comic-Con? Well, I have a couple suspicions. So, back at E3 2017, when Telltale was showing off Episode 1 of Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Job Stafer, the head of PR at Telltale, said that for a lot of Telltale's more mature fans, they're happy to learn that they're going to announce something that some Telltale fans have been asking for a very long time. Now, it's interesting, by a very long time, how does that mean by Telltale? To me, that means it could either be the very long-fabled Wolf Among Us Season 2, which will now have been 3 years since the Wolf Among Us Season 1 ended. It could be Tales from the Borderlands Season 2. It could be Game of Thrones Season 2. I don't think it would be Batman Season 2, because it's only been a year since that game wrapped up. Not even. It's only been like about maybe 10 months since Batman Telltale series ended. So, the prime suspects right now are either Game of Thrones Season 2, which has Game of Thrones Season 1 ended in November of 2015, and the time would be right considering as though Game of Thrones Season 7 starts today of the TV show. So we're trying to think about this. Now would be the best time to announce Game of Thrones Season 2, because let's think about how Walking Dead New Frontier was announced. Walking Dead Season 2 was released in December of 2013, and then it finished in August of 2014. At that same time, Telltale then announced that The Walking Dead Season 3 was coming, but we didn't know what it was called and what it was going to be about. Then, Telltale was completely silent about the game for 2 whole years until E3 2016, when they said that would be coming out at the end of the year, and then finally, A New Frontier was released in December of 2016, 2 years later. So now, let's think of Game of Thrones Season 1. Game of Thrones Season 1 started in December of 2014, and then ended almost a year later in November of 2015. So now, by this year, it would have been 2 years since Season 1 of Game of Thrones ended. So it all wraps up that this very well could be Game of Thrones Season 2. Now, I gotta say, Game of Thrones Season 1, I think, is probably the worst game Telltale has ever made. I mean, I don't mean it's a bad game as in like, oh, it's a bad game. I don't think any Telltale games are bad. It's just that there are bad episodes, but not bad overall games. I thought, for episodes 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones were fantastic. Episode 5 was meh, and Episode 6 was terrible. That's what it was like to me. So, I really hope that Telltale does it better with Season 2 by not giving us... Because here's the thing, when Telltale said... The reason why I hate Game of Thrones so much is the way they hyped up Episode 6. In all the promotional material leading to Episode 6, Telltale said, oh, all the actions you make throughout the season will determine the fate of House Forrester and all that. But no matter what you do, House Forrester always gets screwed. The only difference is in the endings being who survived. You could have Asher alive, you have Roderick alive, Mira alive, Garrett could be coming towards Iron Wrath or say the North Grove. You could have Griff alive, you could have Ludd alive, and all that other stuff, all these different variables, like who's your Sentinel, who's alive, is Duncan alive, is Royland's alive, blah blah blah. I understand that, but still, there's no way, like, oh, House Forrester couldn't be saved. Every ending ends with Iron Wrath being destroyed. So that, I was kind of pissed off by that. So now let's go over to the other possibility, which is The Wolf Among Us Season 2. Now, literally, if you're a Telltale fan, you can't go anywhere without at least hearing one person mention The Wolf Among Us Season 2. Now, honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of The Wolf Among Us. I mean, I did like it, but I think Batman was a much better version of The Wolf Among Us. It was basically, it's been now 3 years, it's actually, this month, it's been 3 years since Wolf Among Us ended, so could they make a Wolf Among Us Season 2? I mean, the fans are clamoring for it. It's probably their most likely, The Wolf Among Us Season 2 is their most requested game that Telltale's probably gone. Second to probably, I'd say, Tales from the Borderlands Season 2 and maybe Batman Season 2. Maybe Walking Dead Season 4, but I don't think it's been requested that much. So, could The Wolf Among Us Season 2 finally be revealed? Well, here's the thing. So, The Wolf Among Us is based off this series of comics called Fables, which was written by Bill Willingham and part of DC. Now, back when The Wolf Among Us was still being developed, Fables was still going on. However, shortly after The Wolf Among Us ended, Fables released its final issue, issue 150, in about summer of 2015, I believe, and then the series ended. However, even though the main series is over, there's still side comics that are still going on. Starting in early 2015, and it went till about, I think, till the end of 2015, maybe early 2016. Vertigo and DC actually released a comic book adaptation of The Wolf Among Us called Fables: The Wolf Among Us. It was basically a retelling of The Wolf Among Us, but like it added some new things. Like gave us a backstory of Bloody Mary, gave us more insight into Crane and Bigby's relationship prior to the events of the game. It was a pretty cool comic, and then basically made like a canon sort of opening. The only thing different though about this comic was that the way it ended. In the end of it, Bigby decides not to kill the Crooked Man, which was a possible choice you could make in the end. However, instead of having him be turned to a raven, he locks the Crooked Man in a cell, and apparently Bloody Mary breaks him out so she wasn't dead, and then he ends up kidnapping Faith, who is disguised as Narissa at the end of the issue in this comic, and literally that's how it ends. There was no, it's kind of out of left field. Anyway, though, even though that's over, Fables is still going on in the form of Fables Ever After, which is kind of like a epilogue of sorts, like a sort of X years later story in the Fables universe. Basically, it focused on all of Bigby and Snow White's children, like who are in this sort of like society, or trying to like live with regular humans, or I think they were called Mundies. Yeah, that's what they called regular humans, Mundies, in the Fables universe. So, what could The Wolf Among Us Season 2 be about? Could it be a direct sequel to Season 1 and still be a prequel to the main series? Or could it be another story later down in the Fables timeline, or maybe even after the main Fables comics? Well, because at that point, this is major spoilers to the Fables comics, so in case you haven't read it yet, don't watch any more of this video. So far in the Fables comics, Colin the pig, Bluebeard, Crane, and I think that's it, and Mr. Toad, all four of them have died in the Fables comic. Bigby also actually died for a while too. Then he came back as like a zombie. It was weird. And then he actually came back to life fully. But yeah, Bigby is still alive for now, but he was dead for a while. So that's my thoughts as to how Wolf Among Us Season 2 could go on. And I said Game of Thrones Season 2, the only way I can really see Game of Thrones Season 2 going, it being a direct sequel. Maybe like 2 or 3 years later, maybe like after the events of Episode 6, Roderick and / Asher are recovering from their wounds, and basically they're trying to retake Ironrath. It could be similar to that. Now let's go over to my third possibility, which is Tales from the Borderlands Season 2. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tales from the Borderlands Season 1 was probably my favorite Telltale game of all time. Definitely, I loved Reese and Fiona. I loved the whole thing. There was literally nothing wrong with that series whatsoever. I loved Roadloaderbot, loved Gortys, loved everyone in that game. It was just perfect. So what could a Tales in the Borderlands Season 2 be? Now, I bet, from what I've seen, Tales from the Borderlands Season 2 is probably the second most requested Telltale game besides Wolf Among Us Season 2. So what could Tales from the Borderlands Season 2 be about? Well, we know that Borderlands 3 is coming. That's a given. So what would Tales from the Borderlands Season 2 be about? Would it take place before, like, would it act as a prequel to Borderlands 3? Because currently in the Borderlands timeline, Tales from the Borderlands is currently the most recent. It goes Borderlands 1, Borderlands the pre-sequel, Borderlands 2, then Tales from the Borderlands. So, Tales from the Borderlands takes place about, I think, 2 to 3 years after the events of Borderlands 2. So, where would Tales from the Borderlands Season 2 start off? Now, for those who don't know, at the end of the first Tales from the Borderlands, it ends with Reese and Fiona entering the Vault of the Traveler and opening this chest, which you assume is filled with like all loot and stuff and like treasures. But when the chest opens, a white light flashes and Reese and Fiona just vanish. So, what could have happened to Reese and Fiona? Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, maybe Telltale's done with Reese and Fiona, that maybe when Borderlands 3 comes around, Fiona's going to be a playable character in Borderlands 3, because the whole thing, starting with Episode 3 of Tales of the Borderlands, it seemed as though Fiona was shaping up to become a Vault Hunter, and that could have been and that could have set up a nice thing for Borderlands 3. Oh, give a little backstory to one of the playable characters in a future Borderlands game. That could be cool. And then maybe have like Reese, Vaughn, and Sasha appear as like secondary characters. I would have liked that. But now, if Telltale decides to make a Tales of the Borderlands Season 2, what would it be about? I think without a doubt, Reese and Fiona would be the main characters once again. But what would it be like? Would it take place immediately after the events of Season 1, and we basically just follow like where Reese and Fiona teleported to? Are Vaughn and Sasha ever going to meet up with them again? The same with Loaderbot and Gortys. Whatever happened to we're going to find out. I'm trying to think. Yeah, what is the handsome Jack AI ever going to come back? Because you had the choice at the end of in episode 5 as Reese whether or not to destroy the handsome Jack AI or keep it. I chose to destroy it. Maybe that'll come back as a little cameo or something. I want to see what happens more with Loaderbot and Gortys. I love them so much. But yeah, to me, I feel like Tales from the Borderlands Season 2, the only way I could see it working is if it was a prequel to Borderlands 3. That's the only way I could see it working. Bring in some elements from Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and Borderlands 2. Maybe throw in some more canon Borderlands characters, like in Tales from Borderlands we got Zero, Moxie, Brick, and Mordecai. I think those are only we got Zero, Moxie, Brick, Mordecai, oh, and Athena, and of course Handsome Jack. Those are the only 5. Oh, and Scooter, and of course Scooter, Rip Scooter. Those 6 characters. Oh, and Shade too, but that's it. Oh, and Claptrap if you count the bonus, like the Easter egg, if you Claptrap was a mystery Vault Hunter. So those 9 characters were the only Borderlands characters to appear in Tales of the Borderlands. So now, if you could throw in characters like Tiny Tina or Lilith or some other characters like well, you can't throw in Wilhelm, Nisha. Well, you can't throw in Wilhelm or Nisha because they're dead. You can't. You could throw in Lilith. You could throw in all the Borderlands 2 Vault Hunters. You bring in Axton, Maya, Gage, and Krieg and Salvador. You could bring them in. You could bring You could bring in the Hodunks and Zafford clan. You could bring in Moxie and Ellie because maybe they're pissed at Reese and Fiona for getting Scooter killed. That's all the stuff I can possibly think of for Tales of the Borderlands Season 2. And for the sake of this video, even though those are my main 2 ideas, The Wolf Among Us Season 2 or Tales of the Borderlands Season 2, we're going to go over other possibilities. So my next possibility is going to be Batman Season 2. So Batman and Telltale Series is a relatively new Telltale game. It came out almost about a year ago today. It actually came out in August of 2016 and ran until December or November. I think ran November. Yeah, November of 2016. So, what could I mean, I don't think Batman, this isn't like my most likely, I think it's the least likely of all my choices, but what could we expect from Batman Season 2? If Batman Season 2, now, I know I still have to finish, upload my Let's Plays of Batman's episodes 3 through 5. The truth is, I have the audio files for them, but the video footage got corrupted, so I've never had the chance to go back and play through it again to match up my audio with the video. So I still have to do that, but I know what happens in it. So basically, here's how I think Batman Season 2 could go. So Batman Season 1 ends with Gordon's whole speech and everything. It ends with you as either Bruce or Batman attending Gordon's induction speech, and then he's attacked and nearly assassinated by who we assume is the Joker, as we see later on the Joker's watching the news broadcast of the thing, and he has broken out of Arkham Asylum. So obviously this is setting up to have the Joker be the main villain of Season 2, but could this be Telltale's chance to also incorporate other Batman lore characters into Batman and Telltale series? I mean, we've seen Gordon, we've seen Harvey Dent, Oswald Cobbott, Selena Kyle, all of them. It could be interesting if we got more into the Bat family, like maybe, it is confirmed that in the Batman and Telltale series universe, Commissioner Gordon does have, Barbara as his daughter. Maybe she could show up as Batgirl. We could have, Dick Grayson show up, Nightwing, the first Robin. We could have Jason Todd, the Red Hood, the second Robin. Bring in Tim Drake, too, or maybe in Damian Wayne have, Ra's al Ghul or Talia al Ghul, all of them come in. So, to me, I feel like Season 2 would be more linear than Season 1. Like, it would be set up that the Joker is the main villain from start. Like, with Season 1, it was still more mystery. We didn't know who the Children of Arkham were. It seemed as though Falcone was the villain. Then it was the Children of Arkham. We didn't know who the leader of Children of Arkham was. Then it turned out to be Vicky Vale, and it was crazy. So, yeah, I think just Season 2 of Batman will be mostly around, Bruce and the rest of the Bat family, if they're in it, stopping Joker. That's what I think would be. It'd be kind of like a more formulaic Batman, but it'd be nice to see what Telltale does with the Bat family, like Barbara and Dick and Jason. Because considering how well they did with Harvey Dent and Cobblepot, I would love to see Telltale's take on them. Well, that leads us to our last possibility of what could be announced at San Diego Comic-Con this year, and that is either the form of The Walking Dead Season 4 or some sort of DLC for A New Frontier. Now, The Walking Dead A New Frontier has just recently released its 5th episode. The last episode just came out 2 months ago, and back in May, and we get a cliffhanger of Clementine leaving Richmond to go find AJ with a line, "Clementine's story will continue." So where could Clementine's story go from here? We know she's going to find AJ, but does this really warrant a full-on season? I think it could be, maybe, to me, I think the best way to do that would be make it a 3-episode miniseries or DLC, similarly to the Adventure Pass in Minecraft Story Mode or The Walking Dead Michonne. I don't think stretching that out for a whole season would be a good idea. I think just having it be basically just have make it a 3-episode DLC for New Frontier, and be about Clementine's journey to McHale Ranch to find AJ. That's what I think is the best scenario. This would be a great opportunity too, because it would be more legacy focused to see. Because basically the whole thing about New Frontier was that it was kind of like it was designed as a jumping on point for new players of A New Frontier. That's why they had Javier as a new character, and why Clementine barely did anything. It was because they wanted to get more people into The Walking Dead, and having Javier be as a sort of bridge between new players and the game is a good idea. So now what I think this Clem DLC could do is that it could give the promise to all the Season 1 and 2 fans who were kind of upset with the fact that A New Frontier didn't focus too much on Clementine. So maybe put in more characters, maybe bring back some characters from Seasons 1 and 2, bring back Molly, bring back Lily, bring back Krista, bring back Bonnie, Mike, and Arvo, bring them back. Maybe even bring Kenny or Jane back if you chose to let them live at the end of Season 2. That'd be really nice. It was confirmed by Telltale that if you took Kenny's hat in the Wellington flashback, they do have a plan for that, so that could be good. Maybe even bring back bring characters from The Walking Dead Michonne in A New Frontier, and you could have Joan come back. You could have Joan or Clint come back. You could have, hopefully Tripp comes back if he didn't die. You could have Sam and Paige from Walking Dead Michonne back. You could have Pete, Sadiq, maybe even Michonne and more con characters. Bring back Michonne and Jesus, who knows. That's all I can think of for The Walking Dead Season 4 / Clementine DLC, whatever. And now, of course, you gotta have your obligatory wild card, this idea Telltale's going to reveal. Now, what could Telltale's wild card be? Or what I hope the wild card is? Basically, Telltale could announce a new IP at San Diego Comic-Con, and it may just be like a more, because they said that it is for more mature fans of Telltale. So we know it's not going to be Minecraft Story Mode Season 3 or anything like that. It's not going to be, it could be Guardians of the Galaxy Season 2, but which would be kind of weird though, considering that Season 2, Guardians of the Galaxy has only just released its 2nd episode. Episode 3 is still yet to be released. But what could it be? Now we still know that Telltale is developing a super show, which is some sort of new IP, and that they're working with Lionsgate to publish it, to develop it. Now, what exactly could a super show do? It'll basically, to me, the idea when it comes to a super show for me is more in the line of, if you ever played Quantum Break, it's kind of like that, where you have your gaming segment, and then you watch a TV show with your choices affected by it. If you ever see you ever seen this game on Steam called The Late Shift? It's basically an interactive movie where you make choices. Basically, it's just an interactive movie where you make choices. That's what I feel like when I think of this super show, something like that, along those lines. And I think this could be groundbreaking for Telltale, because even though it does seem very archaic, Telltale did say that they do want to try and branch out to more maybe abstract means of gaming, like something you wouldn't expect to find a game on. This is what they said, Telltale said that they hope to maybe eventually put their games on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that. Now, we already know that Netflix has also recently tried, they've released some choose your own adventure type things. They released this Puss in Boots episode or movie, which is basically a choose your own adventure thing, which I think is really cool. And I just think of a Telltale game on Netflix. I think that would be great, have Telltale make a Netflix original series. I think that would be amazing. But who knows, whatever that could be. So now that's really all I can think of. The only thing I can think of they could show at Wildcard is the Super Show. Other than that, they could maybe do Sam & Max Season 4, Back to the Future Season 2, Jurassic Park Season 2, stuff like that. But personally for me, if I was to, I'm hoping for one of my new IPs, I'm thinking hopefully they decide to do either, I'm thinking if they do either a Ruby Telltale series, a Ruby Telltale series, a Star Wars Telltale series, or hopefully, I swear to God, I'll be so happy if this happens, a Transformers Telltale series. That would be incredible. So those are my three, like, top 3 ones, but to me, I think it's most likely that we're going to get either Game of Thrones Season 2 or Wolf Mana Season 2 at San Diego Comic-Con. So those are my predictions for what Telltale is going to announce this year at San Diego Comic-Con. What are your predictions? Comment your thoughts down below and be sure to like and subscribe while you're at it. I will see you guys later.